want to share what Amanda Seals had to say, and these are the things that really bothered me right here.
Maybe I'm just so calloused by how many actual leaders and good people have been assassinated by state sanctioned violence for the many years that we have been on this earth that I just can't relate to y'all who are like, well, you don't have to agree with the way someone lives to not agree with them being murdered. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm. Because especially if their extermination was literally done in the exact context within which they said others should die. They had no problem with other lives being taken by gun violence. None. And so I do I do have to agree with how you live in order to care about how you died. I don't know why you don't.
Well, yeah, y'all like this. This is what I
No,
this.
no, 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 no.
Go ahead.
I feel you. But before you say that,
Go ahead.
everybody's entitled to their opinion because there's gonna be somebody that's gonna be watching this, and even in the midst of this outrage, they're gonna be. It's gonna turn. It's gonna be racy. It's gonna be racy because at the end of the day, when no matter how we may feel about our community, there's not the same outcry and outpour when this happens. Now, to point this out for them, that was my point to make people step to the front of the congregation when it's black on black or it's urban crime, they would specify. But what kind of tripped me when they said a Democrat, and I'm like, a Democrat? Why would you say Democrat? I've been to
Just say white
Utah.
man.
I've been to Utah. Ain't too many urbans there. You know what I'm saying? Like, specify that. You know what I mean? Like, specify that. Put that same, keep that same energy. When it's a person of importance to the urban community, just like it is to this community or all communities, because you would state that he was for all community, not just his community. He was for all community. So before we make that opinion about what her opinion is, we got to be mindful of the fact that a lot of people still have an outrage in them, and it's a lot of people that's going. To be honest,
So
because I seen they like, oh, and like a lot of people didn't know him, didn't follow him, wasn't privy to what his movement was, and then the outrage and the outpour, they're like, why for this guy? They're gonna lean more to their own understanding. You know what I mean? So before we crucify or criticize, we gotta understand that we gotta sympathize for the ones who, you know what I mean? But it's understood.
You got anything, April?
Well, no, yes, I do. I have a question. I always come back with a question. So, with her saying that basically it's like you live by the pew pew, you die by the pew pew. Was he for the pew pew? I don't know exactly.
Well, what was brought up today was he said, now what the hell's going to happen? Because your stance was, making sure that the Second Amendment is, is protected.
Okay. So
and,
he was,
and he also had, a stance on these school shootings. So he said, like, now what is your stance now, being that you got shot at a rally at a school?
So is that what Amanda's? I'm trying to understand is that the point that she was trying to make in her statement?
I think her statement that she was basically trying to make was, why the outpour for him when all these political leaders on the urban side is not polarized the way his is right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Classic, with the super
Thank you,
chat.
Clancy.
He said Amanda Seals is
Classic.
being American. Plug, we got more purple. What's that?
Somalis.
Somalis here in Utah. Oh, okay. Okay.
The what's that? What the fuck is that?
Like Samoans, like they're more
Oh,
they would be considered minorities. Not, it's a lot of
oh,
it's a lot more minorities in Utah than people think. That's why a lot of them play football there. The debate was talking about trans mass shooters.
Oh
Shout,
no.
shout out Classic again. We pretend to forget that this nation is built on. Yeah, yeah. So what I was trying to say, I wasn't going to criticize her at all. What I was trying to say is that I think we have to put things into context and not, because she took everything out of context. I can stand for the Second Amendment gun laws. That doesn't mean that it's going to prevent violence from happening. I don't think he was walking around saying that keep your guns and I hope I die by a gun. That's not ever the argument for people. You being able to carry and protect yourself should be the right of all Americans. I don't think there's nothing wrong with being able to protect yourself. I think us trying to exacerbate the situation by saying someone who stood up for a certain right or amendment passed away off of something they stood on, those two amendments those two things don't even compare. The way like that doesn't make sense. Like that's dumb. But my thing is more about people like her who's going to have 1 million people view that post, and especially the type of people who are going to view that post. It just continues to more of the division, because at the end of the day, we can't sit here and continue to try to justify. You can't compare George Floyd to Charlie Kirk.
Absolutely not.
We have to start looking at people's character as well. That's why I was talking about this is something I stood on even since the football coach thing. Your character will precede you. Like we got to stop thinking everybody should get the same type of homegoing trip because they passed away. Your family can do that, but that doesn't mean the world is going to acknowledge you in that way. And, we have to be okay with that. I just think I think Black folks are so sensitive that we continue to try to protect ourselves and our own race instead of looking at things from a bigger picture. The man was pretty much assassinated in front of thousands of people today with a family and did nothing wrong. So if we okay with innocent bystanders being people that are losing their life, I guess, hey, cool. But I think her saying that him, just because he stood on the Second Amendment, that those two things don't go together. I can protect the right that I think everybody should have, and that doesn't mean I'm okay with the gun violence. You know what I mean? How can you counter gun violence without guns? I mean, it just can't happen. Like that's like telling every police officer at the school, "Hey, don't come here. We know we have school shootings, but don't carry a gun. Carry just mace and pepper spray." Like that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But everybody thinks I'm going to jump on some criticized thing. That's not what I'm trying to do. Stay dangerous, as Classic said. Appreciate all the new people, man. Tony said hello from Mississippi. He said things will never change until we stop the hate. Hate solves nothing.
Hey,
but
Tony, thank you for coming.
It's hard to stop hate because nobody wants to have conversations. Everybody thinks conversations are us judging and assessing people. Marshall, he said, "Who? Look him up if you don't know who he is." Always. That's just a troll. Somebody with a wrench, get him out of there. Unless somebody know him. It looked like he attached to somebody else's page. Kylie said, exactly right. That's how I understand it. I don't think guns are